Hi there, Malcolm here with my 447th Booktube video, and today I'll be bringing you my book review for The Last Storm by Tim Lebbon. I had to wait for another credit to get the next Dungeon Crawler Cole book, so I thought, what can I listen to in the meantime? This is only 9 hours long, and it's free at the moment, so I thought I'd give it a go. I've read quite a few Tim Lebbon books by this point, and I've generally got quite consistent quality, but I went into this one not knowing anything about it really. And it's set in a sort of post-apocalyptic world where we haven't had any rainfall for quite a while. Yeah, try and imagine that. However, it is set in America, in the desert. It doesn't explicitly say where this desert is, but it's a case of this desert wasn't there before, but because there's been no rain, it is now desert. Society hasn't completely broken down, but law and order has sort of reverted to make might not right. But they still have mobile phones, the internet, and other things. So it's not, the world hasn't completely gone to pot. It's more potty than it was. And we follow two generations of rainmakers. The prologue features an event with a rainmaker trying to produce rain for a poppy farmer, almost at gunpoint really. But when he does summon the rain, blood and poisonous creatures fall from the sky, effectively killing everybody present apart from himself. I jump forward 20 years or so, and we now follow Ash, his daughter, as she's out there creating her own machine with which to make rain. And the story jumps between 6 main points of view. We follow Jessie, the original rainmaker, Karina, his ex-wife, Ash, their daughter, C, an Englishwoman who Ash befriends, and Jimmy, a soaker, somebody who goes out and finding water and then bringing it and selling it to populaces, who happens to be the son of the poppy farmer, hell-bent on revenge against the man who killed his papa. And if not the rainmaker, his daughter is just as fair game. And yeah, the story basically balances between these characters. Initially Ash just going around finding the parts to build her device, which when complete, she'll then put needles into her forearms, which will then connect her to the ability to make it rain. And the rain doesn't come from clouds, it just appears from nowhere, from another place. And as the story goes on, we learn more about this other place, which Ash names Skunksville, because of the smell, and the other things that are trying to get through to our world from there, through her. Karina goes and finds Jessie to say, I've found that our daughter isn't dead. Jessie and Karina believed that their daughter was dead, that Jessie had actually killed her in trying to stopping her creating rain in the first place, because it was all going wrong. But together they learn that she's still alive, and they go off on a trek to find her. And then, of course, Jimmy then finds out about the existence of a rainmaker and goes on his I'm going a-hunting. And for the majority of the story, we have just a series of events that happen, encounters, going to here, doing this, going here, doing that. An ex-couple reconciling or not reconciling. One wants it more than the other one's, there's forgiveness to be had, but not necessarily wanting to be given. There's the building of the device, and then a nasty person doing nasty things on his journey. And it all sort of comes together in the final act, really, of the book, where it really all just finally kicks off. But I would say along the way, because we're getting these drip feed bits of information about Skunksville, about this other place, about how this, well, not how this ability works, but just what this ability is doing and where it draws the water from, it does keep the story interesting. You know, what else could come through? What else is going to come through? And is Jimmy going to balls it up for everybody? So, of course, we do end up with a big confrontation, which has some quite epic things that happen. And this was certainly a different story. It didn't seem to follow the same beats that a lot of other stories do. I mean, the revenge thing did play out in the way that revenge stories normally do, but everything else around it was very different. The way that, this whole rainmaking aspect was very different, and the threat that entailed isn't what you expect it to be either. And of course, the emotions always increase because there's a dog involved. Jessie has a dog called Rocky, and of course, as soon as it becomes clear that we're not sure if the dog's going to survive, that ups the ante ridiculously. And for spoiler reasons, I'll let you know at the end of the video if the dog survives or not, because it is quite an important thing to know. But all in all, I thought it was really good. As I said, I listened to this on Audible, and every character had a different voice. I think there were 3 or 4 performers giving the voices to these characters. Everyone sounded different. Each performer read their particular chapter, but of course during that chapter we had other voices in it as the other characters speak, and of course the narrator then does their voices, and so each character has a number of voices attributed to them depending on who's reading it, either from their own point of view or from somebody else's point of view using their voice. So that was pretty cool in one way, but a bit weird in another, but it did break the story up quite nicely for me. So no, I would say it's definitely worth listening to. Might even purchase a copy if I were to spot one. Not his best, but certainly kept me interested all the way through. Have you read The Last Storm? Or what's your favourite Tim Leben book? I think mine is The Silence. I really appreciated the deaf representation in there. Comment down below, please, but as usual, if nothing I should say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and other YouTubey things if you want. And until next time, see you later. And the dog survives.